Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. On AMD, it's down 2.38%. So on a day like today where we saw AMU going up, Dell going up, and the biggest name, Nvidia, going up to a brand new all-time high and taking over the biggest companies on earth, Apple and Microsoft, where we saw something similar, not quite big as Nvidia, down on the day 2.38% AMD. Now a couple things I want to show you guys, and this could be your opportunity to buy the dip and make some money. Right here you can see from these lows we got this trend line. It was holding right here, we got multiple touches right here, it was touching right here, and now we got two touches right here, and we got a bounce off of that level, and the gap is fully closed right here just under 154, and immediately we saw a bounce back up to almost 155. Now it's do or die situation for AMD right here. AMD bulls need to buy this dip right here. As a matter of fact, I actually bought the dip on AMD just a few days ago, a small starter position, and now yesterday actually added more into my position. I was actually immediately green, but that is not why I actually bought to sell out for small profit. I need to see this line holding, and as long as this line is holding, the stock is getting oversold, gap fill, and now we saw the reversal today. As long as we are above 153 to 154 on AMD, this thing can push. And now let's talk about where things can go on AMD. Well, as long as this support can hold right here, guys, 153 to 154, watch out for a push. And we saw that yesterday, and even today we can see that on AMD was trying, but it was not able to go up to 50 SMA right here, 159.27. So I would say 160 right here. AMD can break and hold 160, then watch out for a move back up to 163 to 164, and then this gap from this gap down last week from 165.55, and then we are talking about blue skies right here on AMD, and this thing can push. And why blue skies? Well, usually after filling this gap to the downside, and as long as the support can hold this trend line 153 154, this thing can push. We got unfinished business on top these two gaps. So even in the short term, AMD can come up here and hold right here above 164 and possibly can fill this gap at 165.86. We could see a push back up to this high right here, 173 174, and soon as that breaks, watch out for a move up to 184, and then this gap 188. So that is gonna be your upside target if we can hold this support right here at 153 154. Now at some point the support gives up, you'll know that the trend is definitely breaking down, and this thing will come down to the next support 148, and possibly from there even lower. On Amazon, stock is down 0.68%, so Amazon a push up to 184.29, and look at this negative sloping 5-day moving average at 184.25, got a rejection, and now basically holding right here at 182.76 20-day moving average. Now if that gives up tomorrow, we saw that giving up today, then watch out for more downside down to 180, 176.80, down to even 173. Now also I want to show you guys this right here. We got this high on Amazon 191.70, and what we got recently, guys, this is actually a lower high on Amazon. So until Amazon takes out this high right here, which is going to be around 189, Amazon can come down easily down here, down to 173, and possibly can take out this low. In that case, you're going to see a dump off down to even 167, down to 159.76. So watch out. Amazon needs to take out this high right here, 189-ish, and then the next stop 190, and then 192. And here's my X account, and if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow. And there is no subscription, nothing here on X is totally free, and you can always ask me a question if you have right here on X. And here's a fantastic swing trade just overnight right here on Chevron. We actually took yesterday on Monday at 152, 155 calls. Right here you can see, and this thing exploding today, guys, all the way up to 155, got out completely. And people that actually trade names like Chevron, you know that option market actually pays really good. So all these trade ideas are available on Patreon, and especially if you want to support the channel, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. On Google, stock is down 1.30%, so Google again holding 176, this previous all-time high, as a support into closing, and pretty much trying to trade inside this wedge. No breakout to the upside, no breakdown to the downside. Now, until we get that breakout over 180, definitely there is a chance this thing can break down from 176, and if that happens, watch out for the next support down here, lower Bollinger Band, and that should be a strong support until this thing comes down even more. There is going to be support below 176 right here at 173.31, and then down to red line 50 SMA 170, and then we can talk about even more downside on Google stock. Now, Google gets that breakout over 180 and also takes out this previous all-time high 182. In that case, it's heading higher all the way up to 185, and that's going to be a brand new all-time high on Google. On Meta, it's down 1.41%, so Meta, after this massive push to the upside, looks like just consolidating inside this bull flag, and so far it's trading above 490. Even yesterday, I was actually trying to get the dip at 490, but this thing came down to only 495-ish right here. I was not interested, but you can see why we got a bounce, because we got this rising 13 SMA sitting at 495 pretty much exactly, and we got a bounce off of that level and now trading just under 500. So Meta takes out 500, takes out 504, then watch out for a move, and this bull flag playing out all the way up to 520. Now Meta takes out right here 495, the next support 490, and then watch out for a move down to 480, and then this gap 478.89 on Meta. On Microsoft, is down 0.45%, so Microsoft, even with the market cap at $3.32 trillion, cannot keep up with Nvidia stock. That thing definitely coming fast behind Microsoft and Apple. And even though we got a push up to 450 yesterday, now I gave you guys a target in my last video that watch out, if this thing breaks and holds 443, you're going to see explosive move to the upside, easily up to 450 and possibly even higher up to 455, and we definitely got there yesterday, 450, and now we got a pullback. It was trading way outside the Bollinger Band, came back down to almost 443. Now that's gonna be a support to watch, 443. Only below that you should be looking for this support down here and the gap right here at 432.82 on Microsoft. As long as Microsoft can stay above 443, watch out for a push back up to 450 and then 455. And this is looking extremely bullish for more upside unless we get a breakdown below 443 and it stays under 443. In that case, there is a chance of a pullback down to this gap around 433. On Tesla, stock is down 1.38%. So a lot of you guys are probably having a lot of questions like, why Tesla not going up in a straight line like everything else? Well, Tesla here, you can see we got this nice breakout. It was actually a fake breakdown, looked below and fell, and then we went right back up. And I was actually in this move right here with some calls, nothing big, and it actually paid, sold pretty much at the top. And now, even today, we actually caught the dip at 183 and sold at 185.63 for a nice profit. And now it's trading close to 185. Now, why this thing is not going up? Well, this Bollinger Band here on top has to expand even higher to the upside. So slowly you can see this thing is moving and the stock is consolidating right here above 183. Above 183, Tesla looking extremely bullish for a move up to 200, and that can happen within the next few days on Tesla. Now Tesla takes out 183 And this thing actually came down yesterday all the way down to 177, 178. That was the dip, retesting this breakout as a support. So if you caught it yesterday, you made a lot of money on Tesla, and now it's trading at 185 almost and holding above 183. As long as Tesla is above 183, watch out for the next move all the way up to 200. And once we get up here, we can talk about more upside. Definitely got some unfinished business on top. And people that are subscribed to my channel, you know that I'm not the guy who's gonna sell something like Tesla for a small profit or small loss. Still holding bunch of shares, and the target is 230 bucks. Just like I was buying Apple before, this dip was bought up here on Tesla, and I got a bunch of shares, and I'm not gonna sell until this thing hits 230, and that is a swing trade on Tesla. So watch out for 183 and then 178 key support. 178 gives up at some point, then it's not gonna play out, and this thing can dump again, possibly down to 173, 50 SMA, and then 169.66 or 170, I should say, lower Bollinger Band on this daily time frame. So Netflix going up 1.46%, and people that are watching and actually subscribe to my channel, you know that I've been calling this out, that 630 can hold right here as long as we're above 630, and this thing consolidating inside this wedge, we get that breakout over this high right here, and that is 664 to 665. You're going to see explosion easily up to 700, and look at this explosion happening today again, up almost 10 bucks on the day, got up to 687, near almost 700. So early as tomorrow we could see Netflix going up to 700, and above that you're going to see even a bigger move over 700. But in the short term, yes, we almost got to the target. I think at some point you're going to see a pullback. This thing going up in a straight line without a pullback. So I think in near short term, and we got it yesterday, and it wasn't down to actually this 5-day moving average. Now it actually got caught up here at 666. So any pullback now down to 664 to 666, down to this 5-day moving average, that's going to be a dip buy for a day trade, but I would not suggest go long on Netflix near all-time highs. If we get some sort of a pullback down here, that should open up some opportunities to play to the upside before this thing hits 700. But if this thing hits 700, I'll be looking to somewhere maybe short if possible, because this thing is overextended, again trading above upper Bollinger Band, so no point of chasing Netflix unless we get a pullback. But if this thing goes to 700 by itself the way it's going right now, then don't do anything, just watch it, because chasing is the worst thing you can do, especially if you're trying to make money on a day trade and you're chasing something too high. You might get lucky, but as a good trader, smart trader, you don't want to do that. You don't want to go and chase anything at the top. You don't buy high and sell even higher. You need to buy low and sell high. You don't want to do the opposite thing and then end up holding it back, because sometimes you catch these moves to the upside, it's going, and then you don't take profit, and you thought that it's gonna go even higher, and next thing you know, you had some profit, you didn't take it, and now everything is wiped off, even your own capital that you got into that stock. So don't do that. Wait for a pullback, and if there is a pullback, well, that is when you can actually make some money on Netflix. Until then, maybe look into short. If this thing actually gets a rejection at 700, I think we can get a decent pullback from 700 down to 676 to 680 easily, and that's going to be a decent money on a short position. As long as you have a stop loss and a game plan, you can also short this at 700 if you want to short right here. On Apple, stock is down just over 1%, and you can see Apple actually holding into closing 214 as a support, blue line, 5 SMA on this daily time frame. Now, you can see the market cap definitely under Nvidia's market cap, and same thing applies to Microsoft. So Nvidia took over these two companies, and these were king of this market for a long time. And guess what? Nvidia coming down from, what was it? 500 billion to 600 billion up to 1 trillion, and now we're talking about over $3 trillion company, guys. I mean, that is just insane where that thing is coming from, and where these companies were before and still now, and taking over these companies. So that is going to be definitely interesting to see, if Nvidia can hold up all those gains and not giving up. And I don't think that's the case. I think Apple and Microsoft will stay up here, and there will be more valuable companies out there in this market, where Nvidia stock at some point will give up at least half of the gains, or maybe even more than that, because we all know that Nvidia is not the only company selling stuff, and this is not the only company that is doing AI and all that crap. It just momentum buyers are buying the dip, the machines are buying it, just set up to buy and push higher. And trust me, we saw how Nvidia fell just about 18 months to 2 years ago. I mean, nobody wanted. People were talking about Nvidia going down to like $50. So when things go up in a straight line, people get more bullish and always talk about bullish things like, oh, it's not coming down. And when things come down and you talk about buying the dip and now it's a good time, people talk about like, oh, don't buy this, it's going down to $50. Just like Nvidia. And I don't keep these comments. Sometimes I look at them, but that's always the case. When things are going higher, overextended, people are more bullish and they're buying into it. When things are pulling back, they're buying puts. When things are like oversold, people are shorting. There's so many people, they actually go into stocks that are oversold and they think they can buy puts and make money. No, I mean, that just, you're playing with a lot of risk. You're shorting something into the hole and you're buying calls, something that is overextended, and people are waiting for a pullback. So that's just not the way to go. Maybe you'll get lucky one time here and there, but that's not the way you should be going about your day, and especially if you're day trading. So here on Apple, guys, 214, that's going to be a line in the sand for tomorrow, and the upside target now 220. We take that out, Apple can be going up even more, 225, 230, that's possible over 220. 214 gives up, watch out for this low down here, and that's going to be around 211.50, and below that we do have strong support down here at 207, and then 203 down to even 198.20 SMA on this daily time frame. And remember this, we never actually retested previous all-time highs as a support, breakout support. So it might come down here at some point, and that is going to be an opportunity to buy Apple. I don't know if this thing is going to come down from 220, or you're going to see Apple breaking out over 220 and then possibly going up to 225, 230, and then we get that pullback all the way down to 198. So that is going to be something to watch in next few days, how Apple actually plays out, either to the upside for more upside, or this is it, and we should see Apple coming down more, at least down to, I would say, 207 in the short term. On Nvidia stock, it's up 3.5% and taking over Apple and Microsoft and closing at a brand new all-time high as the number one company in this world right now. Now, Nvidia stock, we talked about it and we've been talking about it for a pullback. And also, I told you guys that a lot of calls are coming in for 130. And if this thing breaks 126, we should be going there. And we got that already last week, and even on Monday. And now today, you can see Nvidia came back. It was actually holding 130 yesterday right here. We actually had a down day. They were actually buying and pushing Apple yesterday, and Microsoft, they left Nvidia alone, and it was down, I think, close to 1%, but it was holding 130. And then I saw a lot of 136 and 140 calls coming in, and even on that video I said Nvidia can actually hold 130. The next stop is 136 and possibly even 140. And now, I mean, look at this, guys. 136 definitely came today on Nvidia stock. And again, I mean, look at the dip, this trend line. I mean, picture perfect. All the tags right here, you buy right here, you make money. You buy right here, you make money. This thing touches this trend line, you make money. You buy right here. It's not breaking, going straight up. And it's not just going straight up, it's been going up straight up for months. You don't want to look at that quarterly and monthly time frame. You will be shocked to see RSI has no room to the upside to go anymore. So Nvidia, what's next? Well, the same thing I'll say that I said before. Yes, calls are coming in, but if you look at longer time here on Nvidia stock, pullback is imminent. This thing will come back. At least we'll give up half of the gains from 135, as this thing is trading at 135 right now. So cut in half, this thing would be up still a ton year to date, or even from where this thing started, years ago. Nvidia now, if there is a pullback, there should be support, strong support at 130 and below that 126, and then we can talk about more downside. I mean, forget about calling Nvidia coming down to 126. We barely get any pullbacks on Nvidia. 1% yesterday, and look at today, it was up actually over 4% and still up 3.5%. Next upside target 136 breaks and holds, then watch out for 140. As a matter of fact, I can put this up right here. I think it's gonna show up here, guys. Let's just have a look at it. RSI here on, oh, here it goes right here. You do the math, guys. This is the daily time frame. Look at this, 81. Want to look at let's look at monthly. Look at this right here. I mean, it's just insane. Look at this. Want to look at 6 month, 3 month? Let's look at 3 month. Look at this, and look at what happened before when we actually came up to this area. Big dump, big dump. Even right here, we got a big dump. You want to look at something else? Maybe 6 month, or maybe go 1 year chart. Look at this. Look at this insanity here, guys. Huge pullback right here, huge pullback right here, and look at this right here, 90 on the yearly time frame. That's where the RSI is. So insanity is here on Nvidia stock, and I think at some point you're going to see a pullback that we have never seen on Nvidia stock, and people will think that, hey, this is a dip buying opportunity, let's go and buy that dip, and things will come down even hard, and that is when you're going to lose money buying Nvidia pretty much at the top. So if you're buying, well, just day trade, get in, get out, holding a position 6 months out and thinking about, oh, I'm buying Nvidia, it might go up to 1300 again, it might go there, but not this way. There is no way this thing pushing even higher. And you can see, I mean, I'm not making this up. When we get up to these levels, we actually get big pullbacks, and that is why I was showing you guys longer time frame, guys. Yearly time frame, that is just insane. Now if you think that yearly time frame means like tomorrow you're gonna get a pullback, no, that is wrong. Yearly time frame, 6 month, 3 month, 1 month actually takes time, months. So it's not gonna, I mean, we might get a pullback, 4 or 5%, maybe even 10%. That does not mean that I'm calling a crash early as tomorrow morning on Nvidia stock. These are longer time frames. This is daily, but the ones I was showing you guys, those are longer time frame, and things would play out, over time. So you just have to wait and find out. And if you're shorting, definitely buy lots of time on Nvidia stock. And that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated.